das ist aber ein schöner Hoshi.
Schon, gell?
Sommer ist es.
Yo yo yo, what is up? Manny here, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're strong and healthy and free somewhere out there. I wanted to make a little voiceover here for this absolutely amazing 7A. Well, amazing. It's kinda ugly at the same time as well, right? We got these ugly sharp holes. It's not really an outstandingly line that jumps into your eye and stuff like that, but there's three important lessons to be learned from this absolutely unforgiving 7A that Thorsten and I recently climbed on this little climbing adventure that we had at the Weisse awesome crag here in Styria. And yeah, I just wanted to make a little comparison here and talk a little bit about it. It's an arête, an overhanging arête. In German we call this Schiffsbug often. So it's kind of a lot of heel hooks, a lot of side pulls and stuff like that. Although this route is not really forcing that so much. As you can see, I'm here about to clip the second bolt. I think I'm climbing very much to the left of the arête, because at the beginning of the route that is where the good holds are situated. And the crux of the route, which is what's gonna follow in a short time, is when you have to cross over from the left side of the arête to the right side of the arête. That's where you actually have to climb on the more blank part of the route, right? So we're climbing here, I'm pretty slow here, I must say, kinda, faultier style, too much. This is my second go. I tried to flash it before when the draws were not on, because Thorsten is actually projecting this thing for a long time now. It's kind of his nemesis project at the Weisse. Wow, we got a lot of light coming in here at the moment from the sunrise somewhere in the mountains. But yeah, so here we are, starting to try to cross over this arête here. This is a kind of bad slopey side pull sloper for the right hand, heel hook for the left foot, left intermediate here. Okay, now I'm having the bad sloper with right that I'm talking about before. The other one was just an intermediate, left high heel hook, and here where to position the right foot so that we can make the crossover move, bang, into the decent edge that's up there on the belly. Then we let go, a little bit of a swing there, nice undercling there. This is the place to be when you want to clip this bolt. Okay, we're gonna see that later. If you don't follow this law, then you can get yourself into a little bit of trouble. Nice undercling with left again, nice cross step here, and beautiful big move into a good edge with right. And now we've got one last move, intermediate here with left, high foothold with left, and big move into a jog. So that's basically the crux. Yeah, so we got this really significant heel hook, I would say, with left. And the question for me, because I'm not that tall, I don't have that much reach, is what do I have to step with the right foot so that I can do the next move, yeah? So the thing is, if you check this thing out, as you can see already here, when we're starting Thorsten's attempt, the lighting conditions are a lot different. The sun moved a bit, it's in the shade of the forest, so a lot of these spotty light spots have changed now. And this is always the case with routes like this, and especially with arêtes, where you have one side that is maybe facing the sun and one side that's maybe not facing the sun. Lighting conditions can really ruin your route memory. Yeah, so if the lighting conditions change, especially, and of course they're changing all the time if the sun is shining, right? The sun is moving, and this is especially the case here. So both of us had problems finding our holes again during our attempts. We're gonna see this with Thorsten here as well. And this is the first lesson that I wanted to talk about here with regards to this route. And that is the difference between geographical and visual route memory. And I have the experience that as the more experienced the climber is, especially with rope climbing, the more of a geographical route memory they have. What do I mean with that? They don't really memorize that much what holes look like, because they know that could change as the day goes on and as the sun is moving. But what they instead memorized kind of instinctively is, how far do I have to stretch my foot so that I reach this foothold? How far do I have to stretch my arm so that I reach this handhold? Yeah, is it straight to the right of me, or is it maybe northeast or northwest of me? You know, this directionality coming from the body itself. This is what I call geographical root memory, and this is something that you have to cultivate if you want to become faster in climbing, because as I said, you cannot really often or not always rely on visuals alone. So here we have Thorsten finding his way through the crux. Here he has a little bit of a problem because he has a different beta than I have. He takes a different hold with the right hand, as we will see in the comparison especially, and this is a very close move. The crux move here was a very close move for him. As you can see, he didn't have the left heel hook as I did. He had a different handhold with right. And now he's going for this high edge right out the gates, probably because he was very pumped already, and now he's running himself into a little bit of a problem because he has a big run out here already, and he wants to clip up obviously this quick draw. And this was kind of a stressy situation for me as a belayer as well, because I knew if he falls with that clip, I'm gonna have to pull rope in so that he doesn't hit the ground. Okay. So here he's struggling, finding a position to clip this goddamn quick draw, which is now at his hips. Yeah? Kind of an inconvenient position to clip it. As you can see, he's getting more and more pumped. He's not having any jogs here so far. Yeah? The jog is only the next hold. And now here he finally gets it in. Yeah, because he made one move too much in overexcitement. If he would have just clipped the draw beforehand, as I did in my prior attempt, I think he would have been a lot better here. And now he's finally getting the jog there as well. Here it's over for him as well. Yeah, so lesson number 2. Also memorize your freaking clipping. Yeah, memorize your freaking clipping positions, especially on limit attempts. If you want to climb routes quickly, if you want to send them quickly, maybe. I mean, on an on-site, obviously, it's not that much of a topic, but on a flash, if someone can give you clipping beta, where to clip certain quick draws and stuff like that, this is very important as well. It can save you a lot of time and can save you a lot of potentially dangerous situation as well. Yeah? Especially on flash attempts, on second go attempts, when you're really, you're really psyched to climbing that route quickly. Yeah? So clipping is really important. Now we are having one final shot here where I put the 2 attempts of us side by side. Wow, it's getting really bright here. I tell you, the autumn sky is clear as hell here in somewhere in the mountains, reducing the lighting of the camera even more. So I did not change the lighting settings of the camera here in between these 2 attempts that you can see here side by side. Okay, and you can already see how much different the lighting conditions were. If I would have to guess that Thorsten has the worse lighting here than I have, because my wall is lighted more evenly. His wall has a lot of contrast. There is a lot of bright spots and a lot of dark spots already. Yeah, probably because the sun got a little lower in the meantime. And this is not ideal. This will make certain holes appear more and other holes disappear more. And obviously, if you don't have geographical root memory, what we've talked about before, it's gonna be harder to find your holes just with visuals. Yeah. Especially if you have to look around the corner all the time because you're on a red, and you maybe got the sun in your face on one side. Not a lot of fun, yeah? So we're both attempting the crux now. As you can see, Thorsten is a little bit faster here actually than I am when trying to start into this crux. Although in the crux then, he's kind of slow, kind of having trouble finding his holes, yeah? Having trouble finding his holes. I'm already at the kind of decent sloper here with the right hand again, left heel hook, intermediate hold here, another decent sloper with right hand, getting my right foot higher, but not high enough actually, as I should notice when my hook is in. Now I'm actually getting it higher. Bang, and already Thorsten made his close move. And this is what I wanted to talk about here as well. He has a different handhold than I had here. He's got a kind of vertical finger slot there for 3 fingers. And when he was checking out the route, he was just simply climbing out of the harness, out of the sitting harness, putting these fingers in, these 3 fingers, the 3 good ones, which is the index, middle, and ring finger, right? Putting it in, making his footholds, and making the move, the crossover, quite solidly. Yeah, it looked very solid on the checkout. The reason why it became such a close move on his red point sand was because when he was coming from below he was actually only getting these 3 fingers in, yeah? The pinky, the ring, and the middle finger. And this is actually very, very often the case with vertical finger slots, yeah? So lesson number 3, you gotta check out the holds in such way as you get them on your red point go, not as you get them out of the harness, out of the checkout, yeah? If you're coming from below and you're climbing upwards, it's very often the case as you grab these vertical finger slots from below, you only get these 3 fingers in, the bad fingers, the bad quote-unquote fingers, yeah? This was the case here with Thorsten, and all of a sudden this crossover move, the crux move for him, became a lot more difficult, and it was actually very, very close that he didn't fall here, yeah? So this is lesson number 3. Always check out those holds as you get them out of the climb. So what do we have here? We have a nice red, very unforgiving, very, very specific betas for both of us here. Both of us didn't have a lot of wiggle room here in terms of improvisation. We had to execute properly to send this thing. That's why we call it an unforgiving 7A, right? It doesn't forgive a lot of mistakes. Obviously, there's many more like this out there. There's many obvious 7As which are very on-siteable, very flashable. I think this one is not one of these routes. Lesson number 1, geographical versus visual route memory. Yeah, try to cultivate a geographical route memory so that you don't have to rely on visuals that much.
Cool.
Lesson number 2. Lesson number 2. Pay good attention to your clipping, okay? You want to get your clipping right, you want to be quick with your clipping, especially if you want to send routes quickly, if you want to send them second go, third go or whatever, yeah? You also have to have solid clipping beta. And tip number 3 is, please check out holds the way you get them on the climb, okay, on the sand, not the way you get them out of the harness. Don't forget any in-between moves, any maybe little intermediate holds and stuff like that. All these things can be important, yeah. Obviously, that blows up the kind of RAM memory that you gotta have with root memory in general, all of these 3 things. But yeah, this is just, I think, one of the few things that separates actually very experienced and good climbers from the beginners. Which is obvious. They went through this process many times already, and they have a kind of area in their brain where they memorize all this information. Yeah, that's basically it for this little comparison. I hope you enjoyed the little video, my friends. Drop a like, a comment if you did, and I'll see you soon in the next one. Stay strong. Bye.